And all right, so there is right now, as we all know, the student loans just started reporting 90-day lates. Okay, the payments actually started in, I think it was October 1st. So what's happening now is that people were supposed to resume their payments in October. Looks like they didn't quite get it together to report the late payments until now. So we're about 6 months in right now. Okay. And the late payments are just hitting. The 90-day lates are hitting the reports as of March. Everybody's are beginning to hit. Anybody that has not started, paying them again. All right, so we're going to see a huge surge, and we're going to be talking about that today. But this is a growth opportunity for you guys. Everything is a growth opportunity, right? Just because the defaults are going to go up, but you can help people. You can help them get out of it. I'm going to teach you how to do that today. So we're going to talk about the fundamentals of student loan default, how to recognize them, things like that. We're going to go over the 9-step rehab framework in order to get the rehab program done for them and some different implementation tips. Number one, so this is about to rain down on you guys, okay? 40 million borrowers have federal student loans. They have been on pause for the last 5 years, ever since March of 2020. And I think I saw something the other day that said something like 43% of student loan holders have not started their repayments. 43%. What? I mean, that is crazy, you guys. You're about to be flooded with people that are freaking out because 120 or 90-day late just hit their credit. So it does severely damage credit, okay? So the default takes a little while, but we're going to talk about that next. So you're going to be able to differentiate yourself from everybody else out there in the market as a educated CRO, okay, credit repair operator, because you're going to understand the rehab process, whereas most CROs do not. Okay, I've been teaching this for a long time, for years, and a lot of people that come into my classes have no idea that this is even available for their clients or what to do. I see CROs out there just removing student loan defaults and getting all excited because they just eliminated, 10 defaulted student loans, but they didn't put them through the correct process. So when those people go to get a mortgage through maybe like an FHA loan, they're not getting that mortgage because when they pull cavers, it's not happening. Those are showing up. So removing them is not going to help your client. Rehabbing them will. So this is a great potential for you to increase your revenue over the next year or two or three as this goes on and on, because now you're going to be able to offer different packages. So say you're going to have a package that has a student loan rehab component to it, along with your regular package for credit repair. Charge more for it. Okay, you're going to have to do more. You can charge more. Default occurs after about 270 days of non-payment on federal loans. They are already about 180 days in not making payments right now. Okay, understand that. So you're about 6 months away from the defaults hitting. So you should be educating your clients right now. Number one, they should get in there and either put their loans back into forbearance or a deferment. If they have any of those available and they have access to that, they can still do that, or get in there and catch up their payments now before the next 6 months. And I can promise you, probably a lot of them aren't going to do that, but start educating, get out there on your social media, get out there, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, start putting it out there and educating the clients so that they can start catching these student loan payments up before this happens to them. Once you actually go into default, your clients are going to lose eligibility for any new federal aid. They're not going to be able to get federal aid. They're not going to be able to go to school. They're not going to be able to get mortgages through, like Govy loans, like FHA loans, things like that. Obviously a 90-day late, which is just hitting in March right now, that is going to drop the score. I mean, it's going to drop probably 100 to 150 points. Everybody's score is going to drop that has those student loans that has not started the repayment process. Again, reinforce the urgency in this. Clients in default, they do need immediate solutions. Absolutely, they need immediate solutions because it's a horrible effect on their credit. Okay, this is just the overview of the process of actually getting your clients ready for the rehab process. And we're going to talk about a few of these things. Identify the defaulted student loans on the credit report. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to show you how to do that. Confirm the default status with the NSLDS. Contact the student loan servicer or the default resolution group. Educate your clients on the rehab process. Assist your clients in setting up the rehab plan. Monitor the credit reports during rehab. Thanks to our friends over at Smart Credit, we're able to do that. We can monitor them, and you can educate your clients on keeping their credit monitoring during that time so that you can verify default removal and a successful rehab. Help clients set up auto pay and avoid default, and transition to post-rehab strategy and education. Okay, number one, identifying defaulted student loans. This one always trips people up, okay, because there can be many different types of student loans reporting on a credit report. You may have good student loans that are open with balances that look fine. That's great. You may have student loans that show transferred, okay? They'll show maybe 120-day late transferred, but a zero balance. Those are okay too. You can go ahead and dispute those and try to get those removed. But those are not defaulted student loans if they have a zero balance and they say transferred. Okay, what you're looking for is anything that is showing like 120 days plus delinquent, and it will be a collection account, and usually will say this on the credit report: permanently assigned to government. Those are the keywords that you're looking for: collection or permanently assigned to government. Okay, that is a defaulted student loan, and it will have a balance. Okay, those are the key things: permanently assigned to government with a balance. Once you see that, you absolutely know you have a defaulted student loan. Now, our software, Credit Butterfly, the good thing about our software is that it actually identifies the student loans that have a problem in the action plan, because it goes through and it creates, step-by-step action plans for your client, and it will identify any student loan that is either in default or is 120 days past due. It's going to flag it in the action plan for you so that you know that you have something to do there. Okay. Confirming the default status with the National Student Loan Data System. Your clients are going to go to studentaid.gov and they're going to use their FSA ID to log in to see their student loans, and they can see who the servicer is and figure out what collection agency they are reporting to. They may have to call the servicer to find out who they've transferred it to. That can be a little time consuming, but you're going to have to educate them on this. You cannot do this, okay? Do not log into your client's student aid portal with their FSA ID. It is a federal offense, okay? You must tell your client what to do and how to do it, give them instructions, and let them log in and just confirm that it is in default. They'll be able to see the status on their student loans in there. The next thing that's going to happen is they can contact the student loan servicer and they ask for a rehab program. Okay. I do not do any of this for my clients. I'm going to tell you that right now. I educate them on exactly how to do it. I make this part of their action plan. You can definitely charge more for this information because they do not know how to do this or what to do, but you make this part of their action plan. You just create, if you're with Credit Butterfly, you just create another action step outlining the steps on exactly what they need to do so that they can follow that and get the information that they need. They have to request specifically a rehab program, because there's two ways of coming out of default. One way of coming out of default is a 3-month consolidation loan, which can be good for some things, but it will not remove the default status. Okay. That's huge. We want that default status removed. We want the collection accounts to be taken off. If they do the 9-month program, that will get removed. So that's what we want them to do. We want them to do an actual rehab program. It's usually $5 a month, you guys. It is not expensive to do rehab program. They have to make literally 5 on-time payments, or $5 payments for 9 months over a 10-month period, and they are out of default. And all derogatory information with the collection account is removed from the credit report. If they do the 3-month consolidation, that derogatory collection information will stay on the credit report. Now, there's definitely times that you will do that if they're in a hurry for some reason. But in this case, since we're talking about rehab only today, we want to put them through that 9-month rehab. That is my favorite thing. Okay. And it's going to take some time. Those 120-day lates that are sitting on the credit report, they're not going to get removed. So they have time anyways. They have plenty of time to make on-time payments, because they're going to have to make on-time payments anyways to bring their score up. So document, and have them sign the rehab agreement and make sure that they start making their payments. Okay. So get the rehab program going, make their $5 payments, and just tell them to do it auto pay. Okay. It's $5 auto pay, because if you miss a rehab payment, guess what? You get kicked out of the rehab. So if you're late on a rehab payment, kicked out of the rehab. You have to pay these $5 payments on time. So just educate them. Ensuring rehab success. So again, just educate them. It's all about education. Most of credit repair is literally about educating the client on what to do. After the 9th payment, over 10 months, the default mark should be removed. That's when you want to go back in and check. You want to make yourself a calendar appointment for any client that you have in a rehab program. Make yourself a calendar appointment that, hey, go check their smart credit report, today, and go check it, update, refresh that report, and make sure it's removed. Because, you guys, a lot of times it does not get removed. Okay, I cannot tell you how many FCRA violations that I have gotten because it didn't get removed. Okay, I've been using these rehab programs for years and years prior to COVID. They don't always take it off. You can send a letter in at that point. You need to do another round of letters for them, another opportunity. I used to just charge my clients for an additional round of letters at that point, like $150. Do the additional round of letters for them. If it doesn't get removed after that round of letters, now you have an FCRA violation and you can send that over to the attorney. Okay. So, then you're going to transition to that post-rehab strategy with your clients. And I would build this out in an email thing for them. So you can put them maybe in your Go High level, something like that. Build it out where you check in with them once a month. How's your rehab going? And at the 9-month mark, you say, hey, we're checking your credit right now to make sure that your rehab is removed. And then, maybe later, just suggest to them that they get into a new IDR, an income driven repayment plan or something like that. That's going to be sustainable for them to keep up. Okay. So that, and they may need a little bit of continued credit repair at that point. So another thing about rehab, and just want to talk about really quick before we wrap up here today, is that you can only rehab a student loan one time from a default. One time for the lifetime of that borrower or client. So that means if they defaulted and they do a rehab program, then they default again, they're not eligible for another rehab program. Okay. So that's another question you have to ask them if they've defaulted. What they can do though is the 3-month consolidation. They can do that to get it out of default at that point, but they're not eligible for the rehabilitation. Because that's a special program that it's just so good because they do remove the derogatory information. So it's a real bonus for them to be able to do it. Scams. Let's talk about the scams, you guys, because I can promise you the scams are coming for the student loans. I've seen this. I've seen cycles of this over the last 21 years. And anytime there's student loan issues, the student loan scammers start to pop up. There'll be entire companies that are going to be popping up probably to, a default resolution group or this or that, all sorts of things are going to pop up and they're going to start charging people for this. And you really can't do that necessarily. You could charge like within credit repair, like I'm going to help you with your rehab, through the credit repair and charge additional money for that. But you can't really, it's just a free program. Okay. I have seen so many student loan scam programs come out where they would make the payments for them. They would do this. Like, I didn't even know it was a scam. I used to use them. I remember like in like 2011, I think I used a few of them myself. And then they came out, they got in a lot of trouble. They were all busted for fraud, didn't even know. Like, not a good thing. So I promise you those all are coming. Watch out for those. Keep your eye out. All you got to do is probably look on TikTok. We'll find them just popping up left and right as soon as these things start defaulting. So don't fall for like the quick fix promises, that these people are offering and things like that. They're probably just doing illegal tactics in order to get that done. We do not abide by that here at Credit Butterfly. We don't like that. So you're just going to make sure the removal happens across all of the bureaus. You're going to implement those 9 steps. You guys can all have a copy of the PowerPoint if you want, so that you can remember the steps and have the telephone numbers and different things for them to call. So it's just hit or miss like anything else, but I wouldn't count on that. You're just going to have to educate the client on paying on time and staying on time for the next 12 to 24 months so that their scores rebound. They're going to have 9 months of paying on time. So they're already going to be, right there. And once they hit that 12-month mark with no late payments, the score is going to bounce, up quite a bit.